What is up, guys? We are back. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Any Action Sportscast. My name is Effie, and this week we're going to be going over UFC London, Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall. Now, as always, guys, before we do that, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're 10 subscribers away from 100, and we're looking to hit it soon. So far this year, we're up 30.67 units. Our units are $40, so we're up $1,226 on the year. In the last 12 weeks, we've made profit in 9 weeks, and we're currently riding a 4-week winning streak. Looking to make it 5 and keep the good vibes going. Before we get into this stacked London card, we have to go over our results at UFC Vegas this last week. And I gotta say, all the bounces went our way. We went 5-0 and we had a sweep for 5.9 units profit. To start the night, we had Dustin Jacoby minus 125, 1.25 units to win one. And it was a pretty close fight, and man, that right hand just put him down. A bit of an early stoppage in my opinion, but shout out to Dustin, man. Really covered that price, and his winning streak continues. Then we had Ricky Simone plus 145, 1 unit to win 1.45. Now, I was just so happy for this kid, man. Pretty even fight, and he finally caught Jack Shore there at the end. Dude looked like $1 million. He was trying to get those takedowns over and over again. Shore did a good job defending him, but man, Ricky Simone just got that dog in him. I was happy to get these odds, and one of my better plays of the year, I think, in my opinion, for sure. After that, we had Shane Burgos minus 160, 1.6 units to win one. Now, this was way closer than I thought it was going to be, and honestly, it could have gone the other way, in my opinion. The judging was a little bit weird in this fight, but I was glad to see Shane Burgos use his grappling and really showed that he had the edge there in that fight. Super close fight, but we come out profitable there as well. After that, we had Amanda Lemos inside the distance, plus 200.5 units to win one. Now, she finishes Michelle Waterson in the second round via submission. Pretty cut and dry fight there. She didn't look that great. I thought she would look better in the first round. But, she gets the, old fighter out of there in the second round. So congratulations to her, and we hit that for plus 200. Then in the main event, Yair Rodriguez plus 145, 1 unit to win 1.45 units. And that hit as well as he ends up... Ortega ends up actually injuring himself. Man, sucks to see that fight end there, but I did think that Yair, was winning that fight and was clipping Brian pretty easily there. He had the speed advantage like we thought he would, and obviously he survived on the ground. Sucks to see the fight end that way, and it was just overall a weird night of fights and a strange one betting wise too. I definitely want to give out a shout out to the Sumadarji fight. That fight was insane. Hadžović is just a beast. That guy should get all the performance bonuses. That was amazing. But yeah, man, happy to win for sure on that week, but it doesn't matter now. We have to look forward to UFC London. So with that, let's hop right into this card. In the main event at UFC London, we have Curtis Blaydes taking on Tom Aspinall. Now, Curtis Blaydes comes in at 16-3. Tom Aspinall is 12-2. Now, Tom Aspinall is the favorite at minus 135. And Blaydes comes in at plus 115. I gotta say, guys, my pick is the underdog, Curtis Blaydes, to upset Tom Aspinall. Now, this kind of sucks because in Tom Aspinall's last fight, I actually picked Volkan as well. But, dude, he couldn't have impressed me more. The guy looked like $1 million, and honestly, he's one of my favorite fighters, up-and-coming fighters in the UFC to watch out for. I really do think that he could be champion one day, and he might be on that path, honestly, right now. The thing is, I really think this is almost the exact same of Curtis Blaydes, man. I love his style. I love what he can bring to a fight. And this is going to be such an even fight. I thought it was going to be a pick'em, and to see that Aspinall is minus 135 now, I get it. I do expect a lot of money to come in on him, so maybe we can get a better price on Curtis Blaydes later in the week. But as far as the way the fight should play out, in my opinion, Tom Aspinall is the quicker fighter, and I don't say he should, but he might. Man, I don't know, man. I don't want to say he should have the technical advantage on the feet because he is faster, but I do think that he just kind of mixes it in well enough to really be dangerous at every moment of the fight. He can really clip guys at any moment. But in my opinion, Curtis Blaydes has been fighting the better fighters in the UFC. Has been fighting long in the UFC, and I know he has 5-round cardio. I also love the way he fights. He can really get guys down and win minutes there on the ground, grind them out, make them tired, and make them worse throughout the fight. The thing is, Tom Aspinall's never really had to defend that type of fighter. But we know he can grapple, man. The way he took down Oezdemir was absolutely insane, man. He blast double-legged him and had submitted like literally 5 seconds later. It was pretty crazy to watch. Also, Curtis Blaydes, man, he's just relentless, and he was kind of beating Derek Lewis on the feet, in my opinion, in that first round, looking way better than I thought he would. And then, sure enough, he shoots for a double leg, gets blasted with the uppercut. Only ever lost to Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. Does Tom Aspinall have that KO power? He might. Even if he doesn't, he might make up for it on his speed, in my opinion, man. He's quick. He's in and out. But I really do trust Curtis Blaydes here. To win this fight, he's going to be fighting enemy territory, and the roof's going to be going crazy for Tom Aspinall for sure. So my pick is going to be Curtis Blaydes via TKO. I think he's going to take him down and finish him on the ground. I love fight doesn't go the distance, but it's probably like minus 300 or something, so I don't know if I can bet that. It might be a parlay piece. I'm interested to see the total, but definitely not going to the distance, definitely not going to the cards. Tom Aspinall's never seen the third round, and it is a big jump for the kid, man. But this is not no hate, nothing. Like, if you bet on Tom Aspinall, I totally get it. This is going to be a close fight, dude. I'm super excited for the main event. Don't miss it. It's actually an early card, so you're going to have to get to your TVs early. It's like a midday card for the Americans. So, yeah, main event pick, Curtis Blaydes via TKO. And in the co-main event, we have Chris Curtis taking on Jack Hermansson. Chris Curtis comes in at 29-8, and Jack Hermansson at 22-7. Now, guys, this line's now a pick'em, but it's been going up and down quite a bit. Hermansson opened up as a favorite. A bunch of money came in on Curtis. Curtis got all the way to minus 150, and he's back down at minus 110. And I'm upset that I didn't get Jack Hermansson at plus money. Now, this is going to suck because I did meet Chris Curtis once at a Tough Enough fight here in Vegas, and he was super nice. He talked to us for like a couple minutes, and yeah, man, he was a really cool dude. But guys, this is a tough fight for him, and I honestly think that Chris thinks that this might be an easy fight for him. His teammate Sean Strickland just beat Jack Hermansson in Jack's last fight, and Chris was in his corner. I think that when this fight got offered, he figured, okay, I mean, they have the same gym, same coach, same training partners. They just fought this guy. They, in my opinion, think they know of a way to beat him. But I didn't like what I saw out of him in his last fight. I had Chris Curtis. I bet on Chris Curtis to beat Rodolfo Vieira, and he did defend the takedowns great, man. He still hasn't gotten taken down in the UFC. Chris Curtis has defended 26 takedowns, every single one, hasn't gotten taken down yet. And I guess someone like Rodolfo Vieira, he did a really great job, because obviously that was the number one thing that he couldn't do, was get taken down. But guys, in my opinion, Rodolfo Vieira is sort of he is a one-dimensional fighter, and in meaning that he's just one-dimensionally good at grappling. But he was actually landing well on Chris. Chris was getting hit way too much for my liking in that fight, and that was only 3.5 weeks ago, guys. This is gonna be 4 weeks. Turning around, has a fly all the way to Great Britain or London, I mean, and that's tough, man. Jack Hermansson is not a slouch. He's not a bum. I know he lost to Sean Strickland, but dude, I think he's gonna win this fight. I do think that he's gonna mix in his striking to lead the takedowns better than Rodolfo was. But I will say one thing that Chris Curtis does well, that I love that fighters do, is it really works the body well. But he's not really like, he's sort of one-dimensional in the sense that he's not going to shoot takedowns or, try to submit you. He's just that good on the feet. He just tries to keep it on the feet, and usually if he does, he's going to win the fight. But I do think that, like I said, Jack Hermansson is going to be able to mix in his striking with his grappling and overall just win a decision here. Tough bounce back, quick rematch, or a quick turnaround for Chris Curtis. I think it's going to get the better of him here. So give me Jack Hermansson via decision. Up next, I can't wait to talk about this fight. We have Jordan Leavitt taking on Paddy the Baddy. Now the line currently sits Pimblett minus 290 and Leavitt plus 220. Leavitt comes in at 10-1. Paddy the Baddy's 18-3. Now I gotta say, guys, before I talk about this fight, full disclosure, I'm super biased. I'm rooting super hard for Leavitt here because my buddy's really close friends with him. He courted him before in a couple of his fights, and so I'm really rooting for him and his gym syndicate to get a win here. It'll be insane if Jordan Leavitt can pull off the upset here and, twerk on Paddy the Baddy after he finishes him or wins the decision here. That'd be insane in London. But let's look at the fight. Now, Paddy the Baddy's a pretty big size favorite here, and I think the UFC is giving him a favorable opponent here. Jordan Leavitt doesn't really bring much of a danger threat at all on the feet, and he's a grappler. He's pretty good. He's very competent on the ground. And Paddy the Baddy has shown that's actually the type of fighter he is. A lot of people think that he's a flash knockout guy, coming from overseas, this and that. He's all like exciting and stuff, but he's actually more of a grappler. He's really good on the ground, Paddy the Baddy. And so, in my opinion, this actually has a chance to go the distance. I saw that fight doesn't go the distance is actually favored, and fight goes the distance is actually plus money. And that surprised me because Jordan is not like a slouch. He's not just going to go in there and quit. I really do think that this is a big opportunity for him. There's a big chance to get a big time fight. It almost feels like a pay-per-view type venue, type of event. And I really do think that he can pull it off. On the feet, Paddy should be the quicker fighter. He should be the better striker. He is a more dangerous striker without a doubt, more finishing ability and everything. Where Jordan doesn't really throw too many dangerous punches and volume really in general. In his last fight, he kind of won via the amount of kicks he threw. But to me, he's sort of I don't say high level, but he does show good fight IQ. He's not dumb in there. He knows what to do and not to, how to avoid danger, I should say. But I really do think that Jordan actually has a chance to make this a close fight, regardless of me being biased. So I'm actually going to, but also with being biased, I'm going to pick him to win via decision. And I love the over. So give me Jordan Leavitt to upset Paddy the Baddy via decision. Up next, we have Nikita Krylov taking on Alexander Gustafsson. Now the line currently sits Nikita Krylov 27-9 at -190. Alexander Gustafsson 18-7 at +160. Now I gotta say, guys, I feel very strongly about this fight. I think that Alexander Gustafsson is for sure gonna lose this fight. Now I don't want to hit on the guy, but man, he hasn't won a fight since 2017, and he just looks so slow. He's inactive. He retired after losing to Anthony Smith, then came back up a weight class to heavyweight, and he looked even worse. And he got submitted by Francisco Verdum. Well, on the other hand, I mean, granted, Krylov hasn't won a fight since 2020, but he's fighting upper echelon type fighters, and at least he's active, man. He's 30 years old. He's only 5 years younger than Gustafsson, but still, man, I just don't like what I've seen out of Gustafsson. I don't see where he's going to be better unless those 2 years, he hasn't fought in 2 years also, but unless he's just gotten really, healthy or had injuries or something in those 2 years, I really don't see how he's going to win this fight. Give me Nikita Krylov, and I think he's going to finish Gustafsson. So give me Nikita Krylov via TKO. And up next, we have Molly McCann taking on Hannah Goldy. And the line currently sits Molly McCann -410 and Hannah Goldy +310. Now this line is absolutely crazy, as in my opinion, Molly McCann shouldn't be -400 against anyone in the UFC at all. I'm even surprised that Hannah Goldy is even in the UFC. Now, I'll be honest. Molly McCann is probably better at every single area of MMA than Hannah Goldy here. Maybe the only one thing I'll say that Hannah Goldy has over Molly McCann is strength. Maybe in the clinch and the long cage, she'll be able to reverse positions pretty easily. But other than that, I don't see how she's going to win this fight. But I will say, I don't see Molly McCann just coming through this fight and bulldozing her and finishing her super easy or anything like that. I actually think that this fight's going to go the distance. So I love the over, and I love fight rounds starts round 3. So give me fight goes decision here. But man, I really want to fade Molly McCann just out of principle at these odds. It's women's MMA and anything can happen. I'm really tempted to take Hannah Goldy via decision. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Molly McCann. Up next, we have Paul Craig taking on Volkan Oezdemir. And the line currently sits Oezdemir -150. Paul Craig, the underdog, at +125. Now, I get it, guys. Everyone's all over Paul Craig here, especially via submission. This guy hasn't lost in in 7 fights, I think now. He's 5-0-1. I think one was a draw. And he's finished his last 5 fights all before the 3rd round. All of this guy's pro fights, he's 16-4-1 as a pro, have not gone to the distance. Either he's getting finished or he's finishing the fights. This guy's a super dangerous submission threat. But I like the favorite here, man. I'm all over Volkan. Paul Craig, in his last 2 fights, granted, like I said, he's finishing all these fights, but especially in his last 2, he was looking very vulnerable in the stand-up. He was getting crushed by Nikita Krylov, and Nikita Krylov just pulls a bonehead, fight IQ move, and Paul Craig saves, his night and gets a submission late there, as he was getting, beat pretty bad. So I don't think he's gonna be able to pull it off again, man. I do think he's gonna lose this fight. He's gonna have the crowd on his side. I get that. I trust Volkan here, and I'm gonna be betting him for sure. So give me Volkan via TKO. And up next, we have Mason Jones taking on Ludovic Klein. Mason Jones comes in as a favorite at -330, and Klein +260 as the dog. Now, Mason Jones should be the naturally bigger guy, as he will have 3 inches of height, and is a natural 155er. Klein's coming up from 145. He used to fight at 145. His last win actually impressed me, man. Devontae Smith's a good fighter, and that's a good win to have for sure. But, Klein has good kicks for sure. I'm a big fan of his kicks. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat Mason Jones here. Mason Jones is well-rounded. He's pretty good wrestling and striking. He puts a ton of volume on and really pushes the pace. So I think that Mason should be able to win a decision here, as both guys should be durable. So with my pick, I'm going to go ahead and pick Mason Jones via decision. And up next, we have Damir Hadžović taking on Marc Diakiese. Now Diakiese comes in as a favorite at -330, and Damir at +260 as the underdog. Now I gotta say, guys, I agree with that line. And I have enough faith in Marc that I might put it on a couple parlays here. I think he's going to be the better fighter every single area that this fight goes. And I really do trust him to win the stand-up battle very easily. And if he needs to use his wrestling, I think he could use it here too. Now, Damir hasn't really impressed me much in his UFC run. Whereas Marc, even though he lost to Fiziev, he stood there with him for 15 minutes. And his striking is not bad, man. We had him in his last fight against Slava Claus. And it was funny to see him use his wrestling against a one-dimensional striker. But I do have enough faith in him here. It's a hometown type of fight. So the crowd's going to be behind him for sure. So give me Marc Diakiese via decision. The next fight will be Nathaniel Wood taking on Charles Rosa. The line currently sits Nathaniel Wood, the huge favorite, -490. Charles Rosa +360. And I gotta say, guys, that is absolutely crazy. I do think Nathaniel Wood should win here, and he should win fairly easily. But man, that's crazy, man. MMA is not the type of sport where you should see minus 500 or lines like this. Pretty wild to me, man. First of all, Nathaniel Wood will be making his debut in this weight class. He's never fought at 145 before. He is a natural smaller guy. He's the natural bantamweight going up a weight class. But you guys, he is good. He is a talented prospect for sure. Charles Rosa, on the other hand, has been around in a long time, and he's always well-rounded. He's not very spectacular anywhere. He's never really fighting for a belt or anything like that. But he has enough, ability to make this fight, not so much one-sided. So that's why I love Nathaniel Wood via decision here. I think this is going to go all 3 rounds. I love the over and fight to start round 3 because I don't think that either guy is going to get put away. I don't see Rosa getting slept here by Wood or submitted or finished, anything like that. So go ahead, give me Nathaniel Wood via decision. And up next, we have Jonathan Pearce taking on Makwan Amirkhani. And the line currently sits Jonathan Pearce minus 235, Makwan plus 190. And I feel like this is Jonathan Pearce's fight to lose. He should win this fight fairly easily here. Now, I feel like as long as he avoids getting finished in the first round, more specifically getting submitted, I think like he should either be able to finish this fight later in the fight or win a decision here. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights, whereas Amirkhani is 2-5. He's fought some pretty good fighters. Losing to Barbosa is not that bad of a look, but people like that. But I trust Pearce, man. I'm not going to overthink this fight. Give me Jonathan Pearce via decision. And up next, we have a fight that I'm super excited to watch. We have Mokaev taking on Charles Johnson. Now, the line is insane. Mokaev is minus 490, and Johnson's plus 370. Now, I'll be honest, guys. Johnson's not a slouch. The line should not be that wide. Granted, I'm super high on Mokaev. I think he should win. He's a blue-chip prospect. He's going to be future champ. He has a chance to beat John Jones's record for youngest champ. I mean, what can I say? The kid's amazing. He's skilled everywhere. Grappling, kickboxing. I will say his boxing is like a little bit suspect. But, fight IQ, experience. He's had 20 amateur fights. The kid's unreal. The amount of fight IQ and high level fighting he has at his age is insane. On the other hand, dude, Charles Johnson's not a bum, dude. He's fighting at Tiger Muay Thai. He's just won his LFA championship. He has 5-round cardio. I feel like he's good enough to give this kid a test, man. So I feel like Mokaev via decision is a good play because at minus 490, you're not really gonna get any value even if you parlay him. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Mokaev because I do think he's gonna win, and I do think he is gonna overcome this test. But it is a test, man. The age gap, Mokaev is 21, Johnson's 31. A 10-year age gap, you would think that's bad, but 31, you're in your prime. So give me Mokaev via decision to take that number down a little bit. Go ahead and run through these fights a little quicker. Up next, we have Jai Herbert versus Kyle Nelson. The line currently sits Jai Herbert minus 275, Kyle Nelson plus 230. And I'm super high on Jai Herbert here. I'm gonna parlay him, and I'm gonna, might play him straight up. I'm not sure. But I think he's going to win here, guys. I think he's going to finish Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson hasn't fought in 2 years. He's been super inactive from the UFC. It's just strange. I don't think he was injured or anything. I don't think he was getting offered any fights. But, he got offered to take this fight against a guy fighting overseas in front of his hometown crowd in Herbert. And I think he's going to get finished here, guys. In his last fight against Diakiese, I know he got finished. But he impressed me, man. I didn't think he was going to do that good against him. And the striking was really good. I will say, Jai Herbert is really hittable. So honestly, maybe fight doesn't go the distance, or maybe the under 2.5 rounds to get the alternate line is probably the better play. I'm super confident in Jai here, man. I think it's gonna be his breakout fight. So give me Jai Herbert to knock out Kyle Nelson. After that, we have a pro fight: Mandy Bohm versus Victoria Leonardo. Dang, Bohm's still the favorite, minus 140. Leonardo plus 120. And I actually like the underdog here. Bohm is not very good. I haven't been impressed with her at all. Neither has Victoria Leonardo, but at least she's fighting higher level women's competition, in my opinion. Based off that fact alone, I'm picking her to win. Give me Victoria. I'm not really that invested in this fight, but for the sake of the show, give me Victoria Leonardo via decision. And the last fight of the night, guys, before we get into our official bets, is Nicholas Dalby versus Claudio Silva. Now, Dalby is minus 275, Silva plus 225. That's slightly wide, but I do agree with that line. I do think that Dalby is going to be able to win this fight as long as he doesn't get submitted, man. It's obvious game plan here. Claudio Silva wants to get this fight to the ground, and if he does, he's dangerous. But he's getting up there in age, man. He's 39 years old, almost 40 years old, and that's Fade City right there. Red flag all day. Hometown fight for Dalby, and I think he's going to get the card started on the right foot for the fans. So give me Dalby to finish Silva in the 3rd round. Now it's time for the most important part of the show. So far this year, guys, we're up 30.67 units, and we're looking to keep it going. We're looking to make it 5 straight winning weeks. Time for our official bets for this week's UFC London card. To start the night, guys, we have Volkan Oezdemir, minus 165, 1.65 units to win 1. I'm confident in this pick, and I have faith that he actually might finish Paul Craig. Then we have Nikita Krylov, minus 190, 1.9 units to win 1. I also feel confident and have a little bit of faith that he can finish Alexander Gustafsson, as this is more of a fade on Gustafsson himself. I feel confident about this pick, and I trust Nikita here. Then we have Jack Hermansson, minus 110, 1.1 units to win 1. Now, I wish I would have got a better line on this. I could have had plus money on Hermansson, but I really do think that this is a tough test for Curtis, even though his teammate just beat Hermansson. I really do think that Hermansson's going to be able to win a decision here and use his wrestling. In the main event, guys, we're going to go ahead and take the underdog, Curtis Blaydes, plus 115, 1 unit to win 1.15. Nothing against Aspinall and nothing against anyone out there that bet against or bet on Aspinall. But I just love Curtis Blaydes here in this position, and Tom's going to have to, really come through and have a good performance in the hometown crowd. It's going to be a great fight, a close fight, and at these odds, I had to lay the unit on Curtis Blaydes. Then we have a couple parlays, guys. We have a two-leg parlay at minus 130. We're going to lay 2.6 units to win 2. We have Marc Diakiese, minus 330, and Jaya Herbert, minus 275. I feel extremely confident about this bet, guys. This is our biggest bet of the night. And, I'm not really a parlay guy, but I just love these two guys. I don't think the line is that long. I think it's justified both ways. And so, yeah, give me Diakiese and Herbert for that two-leg parlay. Then another two-leg parlay we have is a parlay plus 107, 1 unit to win 1.07 units. We have the Hannah Goldy, Molly McCann fight to go the distance, minus 235. And we also have it paired with the Wood and Rosa over 2.5 rounds, minus 220. I feel great about both these fights, guys. I don't think either fight's going to have a finish in it. And, at plus money, I had to lay the odds and parlay these fights. There are a couple more bets that I do want to lay, but the lines aren't out yet for him. Nathaniel Wood via decision and Mokaev via decision are bets that I'm looking to take. But once they come out, I'll probably sprinkle a little on those props. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Let me know what you think about our bets. Leave a comment, man. It's been a real fun to interact with you guys, and we really appreciate all the support. 10 subscribers away from 100, and we're looking to hit it soon. See you guys next week. Peace.